On to the back nine of the baseball season. The Yankees decided the All-Star game last night. Cody Bellinger named MVP. Part of the Yankees primed to return to the World Series. Even if they get there, is a Dodgers three-peat inevitable? It's National Hot Dog Day. Shine Time starts right now.
My first few years in the big leagues, I was here, I think, 2 of my first 3 years, and I was like, oh, I'll be here every year. So, took a long time to get back. It's such a, competitive league, and it's hard to be an all-star, health, performance, it all has to come together. And, I just really, honestly, this one, I just really enjoyed it.
Oh, baby, those damn Yankees. Last night in Philadelphia, the National League absolutely got shut down, losing 4-0 to the American League. And how about our guy, Cody Bellinger, named the MVP. And I just loved what he said after, and you saw his daughters with him. He hasn't been an all-star since 2019, and he was just absolutely in awe of what transpired last night. You saw Belly getting it done in the first, knocking in a couple of runs. Then Ben Rice knocked in another run to give the AL a 3-0 lead. This was against the great Christopher Sanchez, the Philadelphia Philly. And then the game was over. I was thrilled for Bellinger. I was thrilled for Ben Rice. I love Cody Bellinger. I've just been an unapologetic fan of Belly for a long time. Go back to the Dodgers days where he used to hit bombs and he was the actual NL MVP and hit prodigious blasts. And then, poof, after the 2020 season, he was hurt, and then his batting average was in the toilets, and then the Dodgers had to let him go. Went to Chicago, the Cubs, for a year, and got his groove back, and then traded to the Yankees. Loved it, obsessed with it. Versatile, phenomenal defensive player, a great power swing, a lefty swing tailor-made for Yankee Stadium in the short porch. And he is L.A., Chicago, New York. He's a big market kind of cat. So I was so happy for Cody Bellinger, what he was able to do, how he was able to do it, and become a true all-star. He was a free agent in the offseason. Brian Cashman smartly made him a priority. Cody Bellinger is such a great story. He's been through it, the highs, the lows, won a championship with the Dodgers, won an MVP, and he had such appreciation for the moment last night. And I had a feeling he was going to come through when he stepped up to the plate with ducks on the pond against Sanchez, even in Sanchez's home ballpark, because that's why I love Cody Bellinger. He's tough, he's clutch, he's likable, there with his kids, the whole thing. Remember, his dad, Clay, played for the Yankees, utility infielder, won a World Series, and he said to Clay, his dad, in the morning, I heard Tim Kirchin from ESPN talk about this, that he was going to win the MVP, go out and win it. What a storybook story. The whole thing was just incredible. I loved every single second of it. A terrific, terrific night for those Yankees and what they were able to do. Now, I thought the All-Star game was a snoozer, to be honest with you. And I love the pregame. I thought there were 3 big winners last night. I thought Fox with the presentation, baseball, and the city of Philadelphia. And I am a sucker for the pregame introductions. I love this. First of all, you give me all the cheese in the world, right? I mean, we're talking about a celebration of America, as we as a country turn 250 years old in Philadelphia, where we signed the Declaration of Independence. And I just love this. The players on the foul line, tipping the cap, soaking it in. And they're great, passionate, dynamic Philly fans. They're booing Jordan Walker, who won the home run derby the night before against Kyle Schwarber, the hometown hero. They're booing Juan Soto. They're booing all the NL East guys. They're booing the Dodgers. They're booing Yordan Alvarez. I mean, the whole thing was just right out of central casting. I loved it. I love Miles Teller with his storytelling at the beginning. I love Tom Rinaldi and his feature on what baseball means to the country. I loved every element of the players walking through the starting lineup through a Liberty Bell, taking out a pen with a quail, and then signing the lineup card, which was a pseudo Declaration of Independence. I loved everything about it. I thought the entire thing was unbelievable. It's not only the best All-Star game, it's the only All-Star game. We're not going to be one of those shows that does the fake thing, let's rank the All-Star games. The All-Star games, there's only one. It's baseball. Now, I will say this. The game was awful. The game was terrible. There are 15 strikeouts when you look at it for the National League. It's also a problem with Major League Baseball, and I live for baseball. I have stock with the audience as I say that, right? I live for baseball. We talk more baseball on Shine Time than any other show. I'm obsessed with it, right? There are a lot of these teams, they don't put the ball in play, they're not fun. A lot of bad teams, bad offensive teams. I don't like the fact that batting average isn't a thing anymore because you have all these guys who strike out or, hit the long ball. And in the All-Star game, that's going to be pronounced because not only do you have relief pitchers in the regular season who throw 100 miles an hour, now you have great starters who throw 100 miles per hour. So I went to sleep last night. And it was like it was a comatose kind of game. First inning was great. And give Dylan Cease credit, because there were some jackasses on YouTube. I'm not going to mention any names. I'm not going to name anyone. There were some people, some morons, some fools who said Cam Schlittler had to start. It's what America wants. Dylan Cease was phenomenal last night. Struck out the side. It was great. And I love Cam Schlittler, and I was thrilled that he could tip the cap and soak it in, and I think he's everything right with baseball. I've always argued White Sox, Padres, now Blue Jays. Dylan Cease is a stud. 200 innings, 200 strikeouts every single year. And he struck out the side in the first inning, only the seventh pitcher in All-Star game history to do that, and it was incredible. He strikes out Schwarber, and that was awesome, and that was intoxicating, and the Philly fans were upset. Then the great Juan Soto is one of the best hitters in baseball, and then Abrams. And the whole thing was just incredible to watch in terms of Dylan Cease, who had to deal with negativity, accuracy from people like me. He got that assignment because of who the manager was, and then he was able to go out and kick ass and take names. So I love the appreciation for history, baseball history, the history of the United States, the history and combination of baseball in America. I thought it was a beautiful night, literally, figuratively, in Philadelphia. The Philly fans are a big part of this in the celebration because they're so smart and they're so passionate and they're so fired up. Look, the game was awful, but it's not one of those where you say, what do we need to do to fix the All-Star game? The All-Star game is an awesome, beautiful celebration of baseball. And really, it's the All-Star couple of days. The new version of the Home Run Derby was majestic. Jordan Walker doing what he did down to his last stroke. If he didn't hit a home run, he's going to lose, and he hit 6 straight to steal the Home Run Derby from Kyle Schwarber. Best Home Run Derby, no more clock, I never liked that. Best Home Run Derby we've ever seen. Then into the pregame ceremony, and, one player from each team didn't bother me. The guys are in their regular uniforms as they should be, not that garbage AL, NL nonsense that they had for years. The baseball All-Star game, the baseball couple of days, the celebration for the sport, it's the only All-Star game. No disrespect to the NBA or the NFL or to the National Hockey League. This is the only All-Star game that matters. And wow, did baseball and Fox and Philly slam it out of the park. Remember when Dave Roberts said this?
I talked to a good friend of mine yesterday on the plane, and he gave me the okay to use this phrase. Pat Riley, what's better than 2? 3! 3P! 3P! Let's go!
So now, with the All-Star game in the rearview mirror, it's time to start getting into the second half of the baseball season. And the LA Dodgers are going to do just what Dave Roberts said after last year's parade. The Dodgers will complete the three-peats. And I think the Dodgers have the recipe for success. I talked to Derek Jeter on Tuesday on my SiriusXM radio show. He said that the Dodgers, this group, this version, they remind him, a lot of similarities, of the Yankees in the late 90s in terms of pitching, Manager, the first similarity he had, Dave Roberts, compare and contrast to Joe Torre, Mr. T as he calls him. And of course, guys who have been there before. Tough guys, clutch guys, winners. As Jeter said, Shohei Ohtani and Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts, these guys are unbelievable. You look up and down that lineup and filled with guys who can hit and hit when it matters the most. And Shohei Ohtani is a freak. He's a unicorn. He's special. And he just got that fluid drained from his knee, didn't need an injection. That gives you hope if you're a Dodger fan when you start talking about the second half of the baseball season. The Dodgers have the best record in baseball. They are 61-36, game and a half ahead of the Milwaukee Brewers. That's great. Dodgers haven't even come close to playing their best baseball, and they have the best record in the game. I mean, think about it. Edwin Diaz is going to be back at some point soon, starting to throw on the minor league level. He'll bring his fastball, and he'll bring Timmy, and he'll bring the trumpet, and that's going to be phenomenal here for the Dodgers. I mean, kind of crazy. Blake Snell has barely pitched. Tyler Glasnow has barely pitched. And you look at the Dodgers, they still have elite starting pitching. They're going to get a couple of great starters back. They're going to get their closer back. And again, this team just has an unbelievable knack here when it comes to finding a way to win. They grind through the dog days in the summertime, and they're ready, as always, with a brilliant manager. And that's what Dave Roberts is. He's a Hall of Famer. They know how to navigate 162 and get ready for the postseason. And here's the other part of this, and I'm obsessed with the Dodgers. Dodgers approach, Dodger way, the pitching, the toughness, everything about it. Mookie Betts is one of my all-time favorite players to watch. I don't see anybody else. You know, I said before the season started, and I'm going to say it again here at the midway point, I think the second best team in baseball, I think that if you're doing a ranking of who's going to win the World Series, and to me it would be Dodgers, draw a line, the team that would be next would be the Philadelphia Phillies. I think Philadelphia has a real shot to beat the Dodgers, especially if they can go out and get another pitcher. If they get Tariq Skubal, that would be absolutely positively unbelievable. Milwaukee, I kind of need to see it. I mean, they've had a great regular seasons before, and the Miz could throw 100 miles per hour, but they can't get it done in the playoffs. I don't see anyone else in the National League. I don't think the Braves have it. I don't think the Cubs have it. You know, in theory, the Yankees, with their starting pitching, if Judge gets healthy, you know, could be that team that can scare LA. But the Yankees have their own internal problems, and they got to be able to get out of the American League. But who else do you trust? The Seattle Mariners have upside. They still have to make the playoffs. So I just think the Dodgers are unbelievable. They're a fun, beautiful baseball machine. People get on LA. Oh, they're not great for the game. Nonsense. If you love baseball, if you love sports, if you love dealing with adversity and injury, and I'm not naive to what the payroll is. You want to talk about the payroll for the Mets? You want to start looking at other teams throughout baseball and what the payroll is? The Dodgers spend wisely. They spend on pitching. They spend on toughness. Shohei Ohtani, I'll never forget an interview that Magic Johnson did with our friends over at MLB on Fox, where he said Ohtani has the work ethic of Kobe Bryant. I always think about that when it comes to setting a culture and accountability and the ability to win. Because and Jeter talked to me about this yesterday, for the Dodgers, and Yankees did this, 98, 99, 2000, they were a couple outs away from winning 4 in a row. It's not easy to win. You got to get lucky and take advantage of breaks, right? It's more taxing mentally than it is physically. And obviously 162 plus, that takes a physical toll. The Dodgers have what it takes in terms of the front office, ownership, Dave Roberts, and the mentality to ultimately get it done. I trust this team. I love this team. They haven't even gotten started this year, and they start the second half of the season in New York against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. And I think the LA Dodgers will take care of business in that series, and that'll be a springboard, a harbinger of things to come, to another October where the Dodgers win a World Series. Yesterday, we referenced it on my Mad Dog Sports radio show. I had the privilege of speaking with the legendary Derek Jeter. Had to ask him about the Yankees shortstop Anthony Volpe. Here's what Jeter had to say. What do the Yankees do with Anthony Volpe?
Every player has gone through it. Every player has gone through bumps in the road. You know what I mean? But most of the time, those bumps in the road are in the minor leagues. So it's not something that you see on a daily basis. But the Yankees are very high on Anthony. I don't personally, I don't know him that well. We've had a couple conversations. I don't know him well. But yeah, I think they're banking on a big upside. And, hopefully he can put it together here. They can put it together soon. You go back to the World Series a few years ago, he played great in the postseason that year. So you want to get back to that point. But it's tough, man. It is tough to go through growing pains at the major league level for a player. I mean, we've all been there, you know what I mean? And every mistake is magnified. And hopefully he can turn it around.
So what Derek Jeter said to me about Anthony Volpe on my SiriusXM radio show goes noted. First of all, a couple of things. He has no relationship with him. Hey, Anthony, you want to pick up the phone, call Derek Jeter? He'd return the call. He'd text you back. That's one red flag. Second of all, if you listen closely to it, and I know that you did, Anthony Volpe, I'll interpret what Jeter said. I did the interview. I asked the question. I said in the question that Anthony Volpe has not played well the last 2 years. I would have gotten rid of him last year after the Toronto series. I can't look at him anymore. Guy like that should not be in the major leagues. That's the interpretation of what Derek Jeter's telling me. Anthony Volpe making these kind of mistakes, and he's been a bad offensive player. Look at his stats. Watch him play last 4 years. He can't hit. Look at his batting average. Now, he can't hit. He can't field. He can't run, and he has no fundamentals and does some of the most insane things you've ever seen on a baseball field. You know what that is? That's a minor leaguer. And as Jeter said, you usually don't see those guys trying to work these kind of fundies out in the show, playing shortstop for the New York Yankees, for a team that still currently has the second best odds to win the World Series this year. Anthony Volpe needs to go, in my opinion. And this is not Johnny-come-lately. I've been saying this for 2 years. I've been saying this all season long, day one of Schein time. Anthony, you can't function with Anthony Volpe. You can't, because the players in the clubhouse know. It means that Brian Cashman is trying to save face and rationalize taking Volpe as high as he did in the draft and saying dumb things in the past like, well, we'll let it play out on the field and I believe in this guy. No! Volpe is everything wrong with the New York Yankees, and that's a problem. So I think it's incumbent upon the Yankees to get rid of him so they could move on. So once they get rid of Volpe, then we could start talking about, okay, moving on here. And start getting into, with all the drama and all the negativity and Aaron Judge getting hurt and the June swoon that went into July, deep in July, and all the injuries, are the New York Yankees still, at the end of the day, are the New York Yankees still the team to beat in the American League? And honestly, this is the problem when you take a look at it. They are. They absolutely, positively are. There is a trust issue when it comes to the New York Yankees, obviously. There is a bigger trust issue when it comes to the American League. I still love Jazz Chisholm. I still very much believe here in our guy, Cody Bellinger, who we talked about earlier, who won the MVP of the All-Star game. Ben Rice is cooking. He's an MVP candidate in the American League. Obviously, they need a new shortstop, need a new third baseman. They need a new catcher. Austin Wells is hitting 150 and is dreadful behind the plate. Yankee starting pitching is elite. Garrett Cole is really starting to look like Garrett Cole. Cam Schlittler's unbelievable. Max Fried is coming back. Aaron Judge's health is everything. But in the meantime, it doesn't have to be the only thing. Yankees should still be able to beat bad baseball teams. That was my biggest issue with the Yankees when they started going through it here, when you take a look at what transpired in June, in July. It's one thing if you lose to great teams, you don't have Aaron Judge, I could deal with it. But when you get swept by, at the time in a 4-game series, the worst version of the Boston Red Sox that we've seen in 4 decades, that's a problem. When you always beat up on the Minnesota Twins and your offense is terrible. We talked to Jeter about this. He agreed Yankees should be better without Aaron Judge. You can't beat the Twins. That's a problem. That's not acceptable. And then it comes back to Aaron Judge, who needs to be healthy, needs to be back. And, obviously, let's see when he comes back and how he comes back. And it's a rib injury, so you have to swing the bat and you have torque. And is he going to come back and exacerbate the injury? And if Judge is not Judge, or if he's out for a prolonged period of time, we never had this conversation. But I still can't stop staring at the bottom of the screen. Are the Yankees a team to beat in the American League? And they just need Judge to come back, and they just need Fried to come back. And even if that's just it, they might just be the team to beat in the American League. But I also think we have to reevaluate the question, because the goal for the Yankees is to get to the World Series and win the World Series. And at no point in the first half of the season do I look at it and say, or going into the crystal ball for the second half and into October, the Yankees, are they capable of winning the World Series? I don't see it that way. And that's what this should be all about. So, look, I think the Yankees will eventually, if Judge comes back sooner than later, I think they'll beat out Tampa. Even if the Yankees don't beat out Tampa, with their pitching, they should be great enough with Cole and Schlittler and Fried, we'll see about Rendon's health, in a short series to go out and win on the road. Even if they don't win the division, right? They need 2 to 3 to 4 new arms in the bullpen. There's no question about that. And I'd like to see them make the trades. But who do you like in the American League? Texas? The White Sox? The Guardians? The Mariners? The Blue Jays, who are in last place? You buying the Boston Red Sox? Yankees have been awful. I would like to see them start by getting Volpe the hell away from the baseball team. This kind of all coincides here without question, right? It's no doubt something that has to happen so the Yankees can move forward. I also want to eventually, at some point, and I don't know if we can, change the question. I want to start talking about whether or not the Yankees, with Aaron Judge, who's never won a World Series, if the Yankees can be the team to dethrone the Dodgers. That should be the only thing that matters for this baseball team this season. And we're a long ways from that. Now, the cuisine most associated with America's national pastime is being celebrated today. The Shine Time team tells me it's National Hot Dog Day. Now, I recently asked Shine Time viewers to submit some of your best non-sports questions to me on social media. And I'm going to respond to a lot more of these over the next few weeks. We're reading them all. Staff is compiling them. I smile every time I get them, so keep them coming. All the social platforms at Adam Schein. But I had to start here. A reply we got on Twitter, on X, from Michael Ventola. He's venting daily, at least according to his X account. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Thank you for watching. Thank you for contributing. Thank you for your question. I am insulted by this question. Anyone who says a hot dog is a sandwich is wrong. You're entitled to an opinion. That opinion proves you're a loser. You're clueless. Have you ever once, anywhere, seen a hot dog listed under sandwiches? Have you ever seen a menu where it says sandwich? Here are the options. Turkey club, chicken salad, tuna salad, hot dog. It's not a hot dog. It's never been a hot dog. It never will be a hot dog. Stop with this nonsense. A hot dog is a hot dog. That's it. That's the category. That's where it goes. A hot dog is a hot dog. No individual worth his or her salt thinks that a hot dog is a sandwich. So we're going to end that forever. Now, one more before I leave. Throw a couple dogs on the grill. This one comes from Curry _Graham. Curry on the gram. I put out a video. Got a lot of nice feedback on it. Send us all your posts, tweets, videos, non-sports. Ketchup or mustard on a hot dog? Am I 10 years old? Ketchup on a hot dog? What is this, amateur hour? What are you in, elementary school? Spicy mustard, brown mustard on a hot dog. I'm great. That's the way it's supposed to be. On a bun, toasted bun would be great. Give me mustard, spicy mustard, Golden's mustard. That's what I want on the hot dog. Look at this sauerkraut, bring it on! I'm not against throwing everything on a hot dog, but a hot dog at a baseball game with spicy mustard, that's what I get. I'm not against the fancy schmancy foods at a baseball game, right? I'm never against that, never against that. That's great. But me personally, give me a beer, give me a Diet Coke, give me a hot dog with spicy mustard. That's what I want when I go to a baseball game. Go to a barbecue, you gotta have a hot dog. July 4th, hot dog. Memorial Day weekend, hot dog. Labor Day, hot dog. Ketchup. That's a show. Keep sending me all your best non-sports questions and debates and emphatic statements on all social media platforms. We read them all. We're gonna do a whole bunch of shows. So keep sending, and you could be like Michael Venta, and you could be on the show. At Adam Schein. If you missed any portion of the show, just do what I do and rewatch the show over and over and over again. New York Post Sports YouTube page, California Post Sports YouTube page. Just search Shine Time. See you tomorrow on Shine Time. Ketchup? Who's putting ketchup? You're not doing that, Tess, are you? You're a real person.